Clocks on the stove.
Yes.
Clocks on the stove. Clocks on the stove. Hey, man, I don't know what. He said clock on the stove, but they better take their ass home.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to Clocks on the Stove. Today's episode will be entirely based on recapping this past college football season we had. Me and Zach always talk about it, and I feel like it's a common reoccurrence in our conversations is how long it takes for football season to come, and then when it does come, it goes by in a fucking second. So, a lot of great things this season, a lot of fun, a lot of happy, sad, mad, upset, confused. But at the end of the day, it was college football, and I loved every second of it. And it sucks that it's gone like that because it felt like it just came here, you know? But yeah, let's just recap. We're literally just going to go over the good, bad, ugly, everything we could think of that was important that happened this season. Starting us off, as we go into bowls, of course, there's still bowl games. As of this weekend, we have our 10 Division I conference champions. UTSA took home the CUSA, Utah with the Pac-12, Kansas State with the Big 12, Toledo with the MAC, Troy with the Sun Belt, shout out Marquise, Georgia with the SEC, Tulane with the AAC, Fresno State with the Mountain West, Michigan with the Big 10, and Clemson with the ACC. Pretty, nothing too crazy in there, in my opinion.
Not like, postpartum, like after the conference championship games, I would say I'm not too surprised with how it ended up. But the championship games themselves had some surprise. I know last week when we went over our predictions, we kind of knew either TCU or USC was going to lose. I just didn't think it would be both of them, personally. I thought there was no way it was going to fall into the committee's hands, and they were going to do what they had to do. Going through the list, Clemson, like we said, they've won theirs. Not looking the same. Michigan winning the Big Ten, that was kind of a surprise. I thought Ohio State would play better, but I guess Ryan Day's just a bitch.
Would you say Michigan winning the Big Ten was a surprise or winning the Big Ten East? Because it was inevitable, in my opinion, that the winner of the Big Ten East was winning the Big Ten.
Just more surprising winning the Big Ten East. We'll touch on it later with my issues with the divisions within each conference. I think they're dog shit. I don't want to get too deep into that now. Outside of that, Georgia, obvious winner of the SEC. They're literally unstoppable right now. Terrifying, in fact. Utah winning the Pac-12, kind of insane. Just not insane from the sense that I didn't think they could compete with USC, but to absolutely blow them out of the water. Now, you can bitch, fun, and complain and say, oh, Caleb Williams was hurt. You were already losing. I'm sorry.
Yeah, they were getting down. You guys were down by like 15 when that happened.
Yeah, Caleb Williams not having a hamstring isn't going to suddenly remind you how to tackle a fucking football player because, oh my God, if I have to – I felt like I was in a fever dream. We were in Orlando for this fight this past weekend. We were sitting in an Applebee's, and I got to watch the worst defensive performance of my entire life take place while I waited an hour and a half for some margaritas. This is not an endorsement of Applebee's. Applebee's, go fuck yourself.
Yeah, we're Chili's guys.
Yeah, we're big Chili's guys. Even if Applebee's offered me, like, I gotta be reasonable with this price range. Even if they offered us a certain amount, even if they offered us a certain amount of money to sponsor us, I wouldn't accept. I would try my hardest to not accept.
Or accept and just not eat at Applebee's.
Yes, I agree. I'm not fucking talking about your Cheeto bullshit, whatever advertising you got going on. Anyway, caught too much of a tangent. Fuck you, Applebee's. Outside of that, big not fuck you to Kansas State because you made me look like a goddamn genius due to my preseason conference projections. Colin Klein and Adrian Martinez, Deuce Vaughn, all you boys, congratulations on winning the Big 12. Y'all deserve it. But I am so glad that TCU's in the playoffs.
Yeah, and it was sad to see Dugan literally put the fucking state of Texas on his back and not be able to get the win.
Yeah. Facts.
It is crazy, though, how it was like the exact same thing as last year, basically.
Yes. History repeats itself. We'll never fucking learn. It's kind of just who we are. But, outside of that, let's actually get into some of these conference recaps. Because I know before the season we had our own little idea of how we thought things would play out. Obviously, nothing goes to plan. But that's what separates the good from the great is how well you're able to bounce back from the shit you don't prepare for. Because
Agreed.
what is it? How does the quote go? It's like not preparing at all is preparation for failure, something along those lines.
Yeah. Separation caused by preparation.
Yes.
That's one too. That's a good one.
Exactly. That's a good one. I'll make a t-shirt of that. Anyway, let's start things off with our Power 6. Interesting that we say Power 6, not Power 5. If y'all don't know, with the new playoff format, pretty much the seedings, you're going to have 6 guaranteed bids and 6 at-large bids. You're going to have your conference championship winners from your Big 6. You're already familiar with the Power 5, SEC, Pac-12, Big 12, Big 10, and ACC. What's adding to that is the AAC, the American Athletic Conference. If you're not too familiar with that, those are teams such as Cincinnati, which I believe they're leaving, but Cincinnati,
Tulane,
USF,
USF,
yeah, Tulane, all those guys. We'll get into that a little bit more, how we think that's going to help out the playoff and kind of add a bit more diversity. However, let's just start off with our main Power 5 schools, starting with the SEC, the top dogs. Kind of a weird breakdown from this year. I'll kind of launch us into this. Early on in the season, there's a lot of talk about Kentucky and Will Levis. Now, he's a top prospect, and he was going to lead them under Stoops. They were going to have a lot of good things going. Look, not going to lie, started off great, but it's not how you start. It's how you finish. They had a big fall from grace. It wasn't pretty, and they kind of ended up as an irrelevant school.
They started off 4-0 and finished 6-6, I think.
Yeah. I mean, pretty typical of a Kentucky-led team. I just never see them like dominating the SEC so long as teams like Georgia, Alabama, LSU.
Dude, I was big on Kentucky going into this year. I thought they had the opportunity to upset. I thought they had the opportunity to go 11-1 and only lose to Georgia.
I mean, shit happens. Obviously, some injuries kind of screwed them as well, but that's a part of the game. Injury. There's a reason why you have a depth chart, and it's because people are going to get injured. Next man up mentality. Keep it moving. Another kind of surprise from this season. South Carolina, I'm not going to say they did great or whatever, but, some late wins over some pretty good teams were kind of shocking to me. They found their way into the top 25 to end the season. And I feel like they were written off really early, and rightfully so. I mean, Spencer Rattler just hadn't played up to expectations. They just weren't good.
I'm still not sold on them, to be honest with you, though. I think Beamer's a cool guy, and I think he's going to bring culture there and stuff. But, I mean, yeah, those 2 wins at the end of the year are great, but let's not forget they lost to Georgia, they lost to Florida. They've lost to they've lost to a bunch of not that good teams. Like, yeah, they went 7-4 or 7-5. They went 7-5. They had a good year. They finished with 2 top 5 wins, which is awesome. But it's consistency. I don't think they're that good still. And everyone's talking about how good Spencer Rattler is. Like, he didn't suck in the beginning of the year.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah. Like you said, not too sold on them at all. Another team I'm not really sold on just because of how bad they fell off. Tennessee was kind of lost in translation. From a team that was literally riding the highest of highs. Once they lost to Georgia, no one gave a shit about them. Like, they were pretty much like, hey.
Well, they were like, when they lost to Georgia, they were like holding on to that. All right, if we just win out, we'll get the 4 seed, which I do believe so. I think if they didn't lose to South Carolina, they would have gone in over Ohio State personally. But then they got blown out by South Carolina. I hate Tennessee, and they just lost their OC, so they're going to lose like half of their roster. But they were fun to watch, dude. They put up points this year. They put up points.
Yes, I agree. They were extremely fun to watch. Hyatt, one of the best wide receivers in the country, him and Hendon hugging up game after game. That was literally insane. And, it's kind of one of those stories where, like, you watch back, and when you go over old highlight tapes, like when you look up like YouTube highlights or whatever, like that duo is going to pop up a lot, and it's for a reason. They've been great. Another team that I feel is usually a really big talked about topic year in and year out, and that's going to be no different here, is Alabama. I think one of the biggest things that kind of screwed them over is missing the conference championship, because they really couldn't control their own destiny. Their destiny was out of their hand at that point. It was literally just who was going to lose in their conference championships and whether or not they'd be able to fall out. Look, I get it. I'm going to put it like this, short and sweet. They are one of the top 4 teams in the country.
100%.
They are 100%. Talent-wise, they are. But the reason why we moved from a BCS national championship style format of just 1 versus 2 seed and implemented a 4 seed, which will now translate to a 12 seed format, is because teams like UCF, your TCUs, your non-regarded powerhouses that end up having great seasons deserve the chance to play for glory. Like that, you play your entire season for that title at the end of the year.
You
And
won.
let's be honest,
You won the game with you won the game with the cards you were dealt. So
Yes.
you shouldn't be punished for doing that.
Yeah, and now I completely understand Alabama and their defense. Both your losses came on the road to top 10 teams in the country at the
I
time.
combined 4 points.
I combined 4 points. It is a terrible way to go out. However, you look at any other team in the top 4, there's plenty of games you could have done the same thing with them if they would have lost by those 2 points. Guess what? They would be in the same position you are, and you'd be bitch moaning complaining. Now, what I don't like is you have a man of Nick Saban's caliber going on national television and literally trying to grope the balls of the college football playoff committee.
Yeah, just
like literally on his
sucking them off.
Yeah, hands and knees, just like begging and pleading, like please let me suck your dick, like please, like I'll do anything.
He's like he's like that. You know what Nick Saban reminds me of? Nick Saban reminds me of like that ex-girlfriend that you still fuck occasionally because like she's still really hot, but then like you kind of want to stop fucking because she's starting to like catch feelings, and they're like, remember those memories we had, like. Remember that date we went on? I remember when we did this. Remember when we did that? And you're just like, yeah, I don't care anymore. I don't care. You know, he's talking about like, look at all the titles we got. Like, look at all these things we did. And the committee's just like, yeah, dude, like we're done. Like we got our nut in and get out.
Yeah, get out. That is so accurate there. I think they're just tired of them. They were like, oh my God, we have a chance to like not put you in. Like, holy shit. Like, fuck yeah. Like, get out of here.
I do agree, though. The one thing I will admit is going into the season, I hated Alabama. I'm like, fuck Alabama. I'm tired of seeing them win. And I'm going to be honest, I kind of like it is a little sad not seeing them in there. I think mostly because I like Bryce Young so much, as well as it's like people are right. The college football has such an issue of such a short mindset. Like people are writing them off like they're shit. They went 10-2 and they're still amazing. They're still amazing. Like, I feel like people are writing them off so hard. And I told this to Zach before the pod started. If Alabama somehow got the 4 over Ohio State, I would confidently say I think they win the Natty. I think their adjustments are just better than anybody else.
Yeah, like Nick Saban isn't going to show up to the same party twice and bring the same gift. That's how I'll put it. You're not going to
bring any gift, actually.
Yeah, he's literally just going to show up and be like, you're lucky I showed up. Fuck you.
I am your gift.
Yeah. What? There was that one Kanye quote. It's like,
my presence is a present.
Yeah, there we go.
That's what he said.
That is Nick Saban for you. But yeah, I mean, another thing I'll say about Alabama real quick. Bryce Young, definitely best quarterback in Alabama school history. Look, I think this year and last year was one of Alabama's least talented rosters compared to years past. Like you look at the Tuas, the Brian Robinsons, the Najee Harris, the Mac Jones, the defensive studs, John Mechie, Jamison Williams. Like I can go down the list of that 2019 LSU Alabama game where literally every player that was called is a starter on a professional team at this point. Bryce Young took that shit over and still won a Natty and a Heisman in his first year as a freshman, which is kind of like, yeah, I'm fucking gross. And then now
he won a Natty.
Did he win the Natty? No. Sorry. He went to the Natty, lost. Sorry. Still won the Heisman and then played a Georgia team, which literally had God everywhere on the depth chart. Like literally insane. Still played his bet, like still played a good game. Just unfortunate that you had to run into that.
And like, dude, he doesn't like, and like Caleb talked about it too in the last pod. Like he doesn't get enough love just because like they're not in the number 1 team. And I feel like that's part of the problem is when you go to a school like Alabama, if you don't win, people don't care about you. You know, that's the standard. That's how it is. And I'm not blaming him for the losses. I'm just saying if Bryce Young was at a Tennessee or an Auburn or like, you know, a Michigan or something else, like, and he did what he did this year, he'd be getting a lot more love, in my opinion.
Yeah. I agree. It's just kind of how it is. You know, you kind of
let's move on from Alabama. Let's wrap up the SEC real quick. The last thing we got is LSU, man, had a great fucking season under Brian Kelly. Yeah, you shit the bed against Texas A&M. Shit happens. Overall, though, as your first.
By the way, by the way, we're talking about the same Texas A&M team, which did suck, but for some reason, only lost to Alabama by like 4 points. Played pretty much every top 25 team within a 1-possession game, outside of like 1 or 2. Like they played up when they were playing better level of competition.
Well, dude,
They had the
it wasn't the players; it was the coach. They have the best players in the field. It's the #1 recruiting class. Like they are literally on paper the best players in the country. But so they're gonna keep games close because they're good. But at the end of the day, if they're not calling the plays. You know, they're not the ones scheming and doing strategies and shit.
Yeah, I agree.
But yeah, LSU, just like I said, finish it off. Jimbo, you've got to add that in there. Jimbo sucks. Happy he sucks. Can't wait to watch him leave and then probably get a shitty coaching job, or probably just sit on the bag, honestly. And Brian Kelly is going to win an SEC championship in his tenure at LSU, in my opinion.
I do think that is true. However, I'm going to say this: it has to be once Nick Saban retires.
Yeah, I hope he'll be there. Nick Saban's only got like 3 to 4 more years in him, Hoss.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like after that 4 years, then Brian Kelly can be like, it's my time, like with his fake LSU accent that he adds on for recruiting purposes. Which, hey, do what you got to do, man.
You gotta do what you gotta do.
Do it. Hey, if it worked for Ed Orgeron, I promise it might work for you if you do it well enough. I still think it's shit, but hey, if you're owning it with pride.
Hell yeah.
Outside of that, wraps up SEC. Let's move into our second Power 5 conference, the Pac-12. This one was interesting because of how it played out at the end. Look, Lincoln Riley, I am going to hate on you forever and always, and you can't even beat the national state of Mormons. Let's be honest here. Utah owns you. You got obliterated. The first game was actually much closer. Holy shit, what the hell is happening? Sorry about that. Something happened with. Okay, I see what you added now. Anyway, within the Pac-12, Lincoln Riley didn't hold.
Sorry, breaking news. Justin Verlander just agreed to play with the Mets for 3 years.
Yeah, officially signed. That's awesome.
3-time Cy Young Award winner Justin Verlander agrees to contract with the Mets. Crazy.
Yeah. Unfortunately for the Mets, this is probably going to end terribly for them. Justin Verlander will probably immediately hit his cliff and fall off. That's just how the Mets work. I don't write the rules. Anyway, similarly to the Mets, USC never holding expectations.
Never.
So much hype, complete dog shit. Now look, I get it.
They still had a good year.
They still had a good year.
Great year, but
but let's be honest. I think the entire world wanted to watch you lose just so we can get our James draws video. And let's be honest, it did not fail. That shit was
fire.
That shit was awesome. So long as he is making TikToks, I will pray on USC's downfall. But I need him to be just relevant enough to where like his videos don't come out often, because he probably would drop a USC video every time it happened. So I need that time frame in between. Outside of that, unfortunately, Caleb Williams had to go down with an injury. He probably won't even play in the bowl game. They're going to get smacked. Lincoln Riley, you'll probably never play in the big game. Let's be honest. Even if you do make it to the playoff, that 1 seed is going to whoop that ass.
I just think I'm not saying USC had a bad year. They went 10-2.
Yeah,
they had a great 11-2. They had a great year. But when you're going into the season with everyone saying you have a shot of winning the Natty, and then you lose by 20 to Utah, it's not that great of a year, Hoss.
Yeah. Like we said, Big 12 just doesn't play defense. Pac-12. Sorry, I always get that mixed up. But Pac-12 just doesn't play defense, plain and simple. And that's no different for any team there. I don't know if I want to add any more to USC because I just feel like I have nothing good to say.
I mean, the other thing I put down is Oregon. Like, I understand they got there was all this hype of Oregon getting a Georgia affiliated guy. You know, they're getting all this, they're getting that. Like Oregon's back. Like they're getting Bo Nix. Like they had this Cinderella story written for them, and then I felt like they were the exact same Oregon team we've seen the last 5 years. They lose their opening game against an SEC team, which they do all the time. Then they have a historic comeback, and then they shit the bed at the end and didn't make the conference championship. I feel like it's the same exact Oregon story as the last 4 fucking years. I feel like nothing changed.
Yeah. And they even got a new coach. They got that Georgia.
That's what I'm saying, though. I'm saying, they got all this new shit, but it was the same outcome. Like they were just right there and couldn't do it.
Yeah, like they say, no matter how many 3 billion uniform combinations you have, not going to fix the shit that's on the field.
Yeah, facts.
Or at least that's what
I do think Dan Lanning's going to do well there. I'm not shitting on Dan Lanning. I'm just saying it's funny how like college football is so similar year in and year out, even with the changes and things that happen on top of that.
Yeah, I agree. Not much. Another team in there, another California team, UCLA. DTR had them boys rolling.
Chip Kelly.
Yeah, Chip Kelly had them boys rolling early. Had some good upsets early in the year. They're playing good football. Then I just literally stopped hearing about them.
No facts. Yeah, it's like they didn't exist anymore.
Yeah, it may just be because they play at 10 o'clock at night every fucking week, and I just don't give a shit to watch football that late. I mean, I'm probably blacked out by that point, if we're being honest. I'm definitely not awake. And if I am, I have better stuff to do.
Yeah, I'm not watching the UCLA game.
Yeah, I'm sorry. They've got to fix that. I think they have to ban it at this point. I don't think anyone wants to watch that shit, other than the people that live in California. But hey, guess what? Wake up earlier, loser.
I don't even think people in California care to watch the UCLA game. You ever seen their home games?
Yeah, you're not lying. You are not lying at all. Yeah, not like we play in one of the most historic environments ever, and we lie about attendance records, and no one shows up to our fucking games. Regardless, I digress. Another team in there, in the Pac-12 that I also never hear about outside of maybe 1 to 2 games a year where they pull off an upset is Oregon State. Dude, this team, I couldn't name you a fucking player on the roster.
I couldn't either, but I feel like every time I hear about them, they do something crazy.
Yeah, every time. It's like, oh my God, like Oregon State put off the upset, or like, oh my God, they almost beat USC by a force of four.
Like I don't know who their coach is. I couldn't name you a single player on their roster. I know nothing about them. I know their defense is solid. They're supposed to have a good defense, and their quarterback sucks. That's all I know. That's literally all I know.
Pretty shocking. Pretty shocking, considering that they actually play defense and they still suck. Usually in the Pac-12, what happens is it's the team with the best defense or the most competent defense gives them like a good chance to win a lot of games, because let's be honest, your offense can figure it out when they drop 8 men in coverage and none of them can tackle or play coverage. So that helps. Yeah, not much to say. Another team, shout out Michael Penix for Washington. They kind of were the best team in the Pac-12, in my opinion.
They started off, they did the exact opposite of UCLA. They started off like shit, and they were just so good.
Yeah. Because they would have a really big win and then just like a really tough, close loss. But because that close loss happened, you just
well, and their losses were bad. They lost to like Arizona.
Yeah. And UCLA, which was
like UCLA straight. That one's, I mean, they shouldn't have lost to the extent they did, but like the Arizona loss was like, what the fuck?
Yeah, like just really weird. But I mean, the Pac-12 is always fucking weird. Like, just such a weird conference, and just like their brother conference, the Big 12, which honestly, let's just transition right into. They also are just a really weird conference.
Yeah, they're like I think the Big 12 and the Pac-12 are the same, and they're just in different geographical locations.
The Pac-12 is the liberal side of football, and the Big 12 is like the conservative side.
Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah, that's kind of how I view this partnership. Pac-12 plays no defense, only high-powered offense. Big 12, same thing, just a little bit weirder, to say the least.
No, I do agree with what you wrote, though. The no divisions in the Big 12 makes it a lot more fun, and it makes it a lot more interesting. Something I want to bring up, though, is the Big 12 curse happened again. Every single team beat each other. Kansas beat Oklahoma State. Oklahoma State beat Iowa State. Iowa State beat West Virginia. West Virginia beat Baylor. Baylor beat Texas Tech. Texas Tech beat Texas. Texas beat Kansas State. Kansas State beat TCU. TCU beat Oklahoma. And then Oklahoma finished the circle beating Kansas. Every single team. The circle's over. Like, it's just the Big 12. It's Big 12, bro. It's Big 12 and Pac-12. They fucking all beat each other every year, I swear.
Yep. It's just how it is. It's a circle of life in college football. It's a beautiful thing. Never change. Big 12. You are who you are. Going back, though, to the no divisions and conferences, and why I'm such a big fan of it. I'll go on a little rant here. Look, I'm going to be honest. Look at some of how the other conference championships played out, and you'll start to understand why it occurred the way it did. You know, if the Big Ten would have been run the same way that the Big 12 did, we would have had an Ohio State-Michigan rematch in the conference championship. Who wouldn't want to see that? If you were to look at the SEC, let me pull up the SEC real quick.
It would have probably been the same thing.
It would have been Georgia. It would have been Georgia.
It would have been the same thing. No, it would have been Georgia, Tennessee. Yeah, it would have been Georgia,
Yeah,
Tennessee.
it would have been Georgia, Tennessee. Who doesn't want to see that? Or Georgia, Alabama. Either or.
Nah, Tennessee won. It was a three-way tie. I already watched the thing on this. It was a three-way tie between LSU, Alabama, and Tennessee with 2 losses. But Tennessee won the head-ons with these 2, so they would jump them.
Okay, yeah. So it would have been Georgia, Tennessee rematch. Obviously, towards the end, I wouldn't want to see it just because Hendon Hooker was out with an ACL. But if injuries held up, that would have been much better.
Awesome. That would have been such a great game.
Yeah, because one of the biggest things that Tennessee was bitching about the whole year is if that was neutral site, that game would have been different. Guess what? Prove it. There you go.
Well, I mean, it's more neutral site, but you're still in fucking Atlanta, Georgia.
I mean, yeah, fair. By the way, they have to change that. That's such fucking bullshit. I feel like if it's gonna be a neutral site game, it cannot be within either of
well, the
sites.
idea of it is to make it like a geographical neutral site where like Atlanta's in the southeast, Arlington, Texas was in like Texas, the one for Dr. Pepper's in North Carolina, ACC. But like,
yeah, that's such bullshit.
I mean, dude, realistically, we had Purdue played in Indiana. That's basically a home game. TCU played in Texas. That's basically a home game. UNC played in North Carolina. It was basically a home game. And Georgia played in Georgia, which was basically a home game.
Now, my proposal from here on out is neutral site games should be played in South Korea.
Just South Korea.
Far away.
Throw them in like fucking Alaska.
Yeah,
like,
just like put that shit in the middle, like Blue Mountain State style, like make them duke it out in the cornfields. And like what you should honestly do is you should kidnap both teams in the middle of the night on a Friday and just throw them into like a open like canyon or like a field, and you're just gonna be like when they're freaking out, like where am I? You just throw shoulder pads on the ground and be like, this is neutral site, like this is what it is.
No
like,
fans, no nothing. Just how much do you want to win this fucking game?
Yeah, it's just painted on fans on like the walls, and they're just like forcing them to watch. They'll like play fake crowd noise that like echoes through the fucking canyon. They maybe bring like a aircraft or like AC-130 flies over and just drops like 40 crates of water, and it's like these are your rations for the game. It's like if you go to overtime, someone may die just because you may not have food. That's how I think it should be played. Fuck the neutral site. I think it's stupid.
It's not even that neutral.
It never is. There's always gonna be someone that has more. It's just how it is. But yeah, enough of that little tangent.
Yeah, bringing it back to the Big Ten. Sonny Dykes Coach of the Year. I don't think there's any other argument to give it to anyone else. I'm sorry.
Wait. Big 12. You said Big 10 on accident.
Oh, excuse me. Yes, Big 12. There's no who else do you give it to? And I'm not even talking about Big 12 Coach of the Year. I'm talking about Coach of the Year in college football.
Yeah.
Needs to go to Sonny Dykes.
Period. You went from SMU, which was not really like a dominant powerhouse school, but from what you made them, they kind of were disgusting.
Then you go to
TCU, who last year really wasn't like super big within the Big 12. You know, there were other teams that were projected to win, and you just beat the shit out of everyone. Like you had your close games, I'll give you that, but like every team has its close games.
In your first year ever as a Power 5 coach, you were a regular season Big 12 champion. You went to the Big 12 championship, and you're in the college football playoff. In your first fucking year, that is insane. You don't have a single guy on that roster that is yours.
Yeah.
That's insane.
Yeah. He literally took Max Dugan and was like, you're a dog. We're going to win some games. Unfortunately, I think they're going to get their shit pushed in by Michigan.
If they couldn't stop Kansas State's run game, they're not stopping Michigan's run game.
Yeah, look, no disrespect, but there's levels to this shit, and the Big Ten trenches is quite literally hell on earth for anybody. It's not going to be a fun time. I watched Ohio State get the shit ran over them by this team, and let's be honest, you're a Big 12 team. You normally line up in a 3-4 front anyway. It's going to get ugly really fast if you're not able to put up some points.
Well, I mean,
really
and their whole defense got fucked by the run in Kansas State, and that Michigan should just do the same thing.
Yeah, because if you got Deuce Deuce Vaughn was a problem, Donovan Edwards is just as bad.
And those O linemen in Michigan are a little bit better than the O line at Kent State.
Yeah, that's what I mean. The trench is just terrifying. Moving on from that, speaking of Kansas State, thank you. I know I already said thanks earlier, but you made me look like a genius. I kind of just threw it out there just because when I was going through all the teams, I was like, this just seems like one of those years where the Big 12 is like really fucking weird, and Kansas State has that one miracle running with destiny, and yeah, they ended up getting it done. I mean, I am kind of sad that TCU lost. However, I'm not as sad anymore just based off the fact that they're still in the playoffs. Great. By the way, I'm saying this now. This is the first time I think I've respected 100% the committee's decision. They were literally just like, we're not dropping them. Like, we don't care.
And I fucking said this last pod, and you, Caleb, and Stu all call me fucking dumb. They deserved it. Like, they deserved it.
I know they deserved it, but like from a money sense, I would have not complained at all if Alabama would have got it, because I would have been like, I know why they did it. Like I would have been mad that like I was like, look, TCU deserved that, but I wouldn't have been mad from the sense I was like, yeah, Alabama's probably gonna play a better game than fucking TCU would.
Yeah,
like,
I agree. I understand. I understand, but I'm just saying, like, they deserve to be there.
Yes, completely agree.
Oklahoma State, Oklahoma State having an Oklahoma State ass season. They had points where you're like, oh my god, they're gonna go to the playoffs, and then they just ended up going 7-5. I like Mike Gundy and I like what he's doing there, but I think they need to get rid of him.
I was gonna say this. If it wasn't for Mike Gundy's "I'm a man" speech, do you think he'd still have his job? I don't know.
Right, yes, dude. No, there was years that he won the Big 12. I mean, he's had like last year they had 2 losses. Like, he's had great years. It's just like he can't finish them. I don't understand. Like, he gets right fucking there every time and can't finish it. He gets to the 5th round of the fight and he rocks you with a minute left on the cage like Nate Diaz, and he can't fucking finish because he has no more energy. Every fucking year. Every year ever under Mike Gundy.
Yeah, I kind of view it as one of those. He's that guy that when he goes out with your group of friends, he's always talking to a girl. Like, and you think he's pulled a 10, but he blacks out every fucking time before he can bring her home. And you're like,
he's the kid that'll come home and be like, dude, I got all these Snapchats, but I couldn't take a single girl home. I couldn't close.
Yeah, no, he's literally right there with the 10, and you're looking at him from across the bar, and you're like, dude, he's gonna do it. Like, this is gonna be the day he does it. And then you just like start to see him just like he's like holding back the cue. Like, he doesn't even know what he's talking about anymore. He's like not even like trying to flirt. He's just straight up like, show me your tits. Like literally like fall face first, and you're like, I gotta call maneuver. Like, fuck,
shit, his night ended an hour early. Just like their season ended 5 games ago.
Yeah, like literally that is them every year. It doesn't get much more accurate than that. That is literally Mike Gundy for you. Another team in there. Look, huge shout out to Kansas for starting out 5-0. I know losing your starting quarterback doesn't help your chances. Finishing 6-6 was probably the most Kansas thing I've ever seen in my life, though. Yeah, that was almost too accurate for Kansas, and I called it. I was like, back in our midseason when they were 5-0, they got their first loss, and I looked at their schedule and I was like, dude, they might not even make bowl game. I was like, they may like just be bowl eligible. Like, this is gonna be sad. That's kind of how it happened. But still, nothing to hang your head on compared to how you were in years past.
I think the future is still bright for them. I think Lance Leipold's a great coach. I believe Jalen Daniels comes back. I don't really know too much, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
But the recruiting's getting better. Everything's getting better. He's building culture there. Their games are sold out. Like, yeah, you went 6-6, okay? But you went 6-6 as Kansas. You haven't even been to a bowl game in what, 12 years? You know, you're still moving forward. Yeah, obviously you wanted to be here and you only went here, but here's still better than here, you know?
Yeah, I completely agree. But yeah, that kind of wraps up our Big 12. Always going to be a weird conference. We're always going to have something to say about them. Our next conference, though, this is one of the most consistent conferences in all of football, and that is the Big 10, only because it's going to be Michigan. You honestly, you have 4 teams that you have to talk about every year. How's Ohio State going to do? How's Michigan going to do? And then you have your Penn State and your Wisconsin, and then throw in Iowa if you want.
Occasionally Michigan State and Iowa.
Yeah, sprinkle those in there. You know, you get your Kirk Cousins seasons, you get your random ass Cade McNamara seasons since he's at Iowa now. So we'll see how that does.
Fuck him.
Yeah. By the way, the college football transfer portal has opened up today, so we will try to keep you up to date with all the transfer news. So check our Twitter and our socials for that information. But back to the Big Ten. Look, let's get our big teams out of the way. Ryan Day. Personally, I think his seat is hotter than people want to believe. Look, at some point, you're gonna have to start putting your resume on the table and not Urban's. Because right now, I think you're getting away with a lot of.
You're still riding Urban's wave.
Oh, a lot, and his shit was a tsunami compared to what they. Yeah, so you got
riding Urban's wave.
Yeah, you got some time, but let me tell you, if every time you fucking play your biggest rival, you lose, you will not be head coach. I promise you that.
Especially too. No, I can't say that. They no, never mind. Ignore that. Keep going.
I'm just saying because people look at me and call me crazy. Like, dude, like you're still playing in the college football playoff. Like you only lost to Michigan. I'm like, dude, when was the last time Ohio State lost to Michigan at home? I would love to know. I couldn't tell you off the top of my head.
I think 1999.
Yeah, that 23 years. As long as I've been alive, I've never seen it happen.
Yeah.
And you got blown the fuck out.
Yeah, I think Caleb said it best, dude. I think I don't think Ryan Day is a leader of men. They're not disciplined. They don't really like. I'm not gonna sit here and just completely bash him. I don't know enough about Ohio State. I don't know enough about the background and everything with him. But like Zach said, he is just riding Urban's wave, and he's just playing with better players than teams. He's not out coaching. He's not doing anything crazy. I've never been like, yo, Ryan Day's a great coach because of this, or Ryan Day does this. I've never been able to say that. And he's still going to get the recruits. I mean, Ohio State's going to get people. It's Ohio State. Like that's the brand that you are performing with.
Yeah.
But I don't see him I agree, if he loses to Michigan next year, I think you start looking for options. I really do. No. And I know it's dumb to say that with him going 11-1 this year. I know it's stupid to say, but at the same time, when you take, like we just talked about with Bryce Young going to Alabama, when you commit to Alabama, this is what's expected. When you take the Ohio State job, this is what's expected. And you heard him in the preseason, he goes, when you come to Ohio State, no one cares if you make a Rose Bowl. No one cares if you make this. Your job is to win the Big Ten and win the national title. And so far, you're 0-1 on the promise so far.
Yeah.
You're 0-1. For 2 years in a row, you're 0-1.
Yeah. He has this big thing where when like you said in that preseason press conference, he goes, we only care about titles. We played for titles.
And you don't even have any. You don't have a single title while being there.
Literally, I'm like,
as the head coach.
Yeah, I'm like, all right, man. I was like, if that's what you say, like you should probably coach as if you're a championship caliber team.
Exactly. No, and I'm not against saying that. I like that. Luke Fickell said the same thing at Wisconsin. That's what I want. But don't say that and then be mad when people are upset with you for not doing what you said.
Yeah, if you say you're gonna buy your girlfriend a Lexus and you show up with a fucking Nissan Altima, she's probably gonna dump you too, bro. Like, sorry.
Yeah, that's just how it works, bro. Like, just
be honest.
Now, if you told your girlfriend you were gonna buy her a car and you got her a Nissan Altima, that's not bad. But it's the standard that you're promising. That's what the point I'm trying to make.
Yeah, like we said, you want
if Ryan Day went out there and goes, we're going to go to a New Year's Six Bowl with 10 wins every year, and then he did that. That looks a lot better for him than what he said and then did. What he said and then did, yes.
Yeah, and I will also say this, though. I will say this in his defense. If he would have gotten on that stage and have been like, yeah, our hope is to play for the Big Ten championship, they would have been like, get the fuck
I agree.
out of here.
I agree. Yeah, I agree.
So he did have to raise it up, but at the same time, like, hey,
that's the standard of that job, though, Zach.
If you didn't know that, that's what I was going to say. If you didn't feel like you could fill those shoes, keep it pushing.
Yeah, they didn't force you to take the job.
Yeah, it was gifted to you, and now you're fucking it royally.
They could have easily given that job to Shiano.
Exactly. Moving on from there, let's get into our sprinkle in teams. Our sprinkle in teams.
Oh yeah, real quick. I mean, Michigan I feel like just quick rant. This past 4 or 5 years we've had Harbaugh. I've shit on Caleb, shit on Donez, I've shit on all my friends that are Michigan fans for doing the same shit every single year, being James Franklin, just beating teams you're supposed to beat and then not being able to beat Ohio State or not being able to win the big game. And Harbaugh really shut us the fuck up this year. I have nothing bad to say about Michigan other than you cannot bank on J.J. McCarthy to play the way he did against Ohio State. Like, yeah, he looked great, and I'm not discrediting him. He's a good quarterback, yes. but you cannot bank on him doing that these next 2 games. You can't.
Yeah. Yeah, I was gonna say I don't think, because I think based off how it is now, Michigan's playing.
It's Michigan, TCU, Georgia, Ohio State.
Oh yeah. I don't think the playoff teams are going to let your receivers open by 25
Yeah,
to 35.
no. Even though TCU isn't as good as Ohio State, they will not let those 3 to 4 plus 60-yard plays happen, in my opinion.
I promise you, Sonny Dykes will have a better game plan for Michigan.
I agree, because it's not as emotionally invested as well, and I feel like that also clears your mind for a game like this.
Yes, I completely agree. Yeah.
But yeah, that's all I have to say about Michigan. If you want to get back to the sprinkler teams.
Moving forward, you brought up James Franklin a little bit. Let's talk about his team, Penn State. Look, I'll touch on this a little later, because when we get, if we have time, we talk about our bowl seedings and how, like, based how you finish in your conference, like, you like get a bid to this bowl. I think that's fucking bullshit. Let's be honest. The Big Ten, well, technically they're in the East, so I can't really bitch at them for the Big Ten West factor. But I just don't think they're deserving of a Big Ten bid. Like, I really don't. You're the 3rd best team in your conference. I get the 2 seeds above you are playing for the playoffs, but are you really a representative?
Like, what the fuck did you do this year, though? Who did you beat? You beat nobody. Nobody.
Nobody's.
And I said this to Zach before, and I'm gonna get so much trigger and anger from Penn State fans. If James Franklin doesn't have that season with Saquon and McSorley where they win the Big Ten, that he is not the coach there anymore. I don't think he's that good. Him and Lane Kiffin are the same coach. They win all the games they're supposed to and never win the big one or never go to the dance. I'm sorry, and I just don't. I don't dislike James Franklin. I'm not a James Franklin hater. I'm just stating what he's done at Penn State was basically what Wisconsin's done, other than these last 2 years, and he gets double the recognition.
Yeah,
that's just my opinion. That's just my opinion.
Yeah, I completely agree. I don't know, man. I just can't really respect him. And look, I get it. You're in the middle of an era where, like, your Michigan and Ohio State are probably going to run shit for a while, but at the same time, like, here's how teams survive through those, like, dynasty years. You have to look at it from a perspective of, like, all right, you're probably not going to win a lot. You have to pick and choose your, like, every 4 years.
Transfer portal update.
The Florida State.
Amari Gainer has entered the season as the team's active leading in sacks. He is in tackles. He is entering the transfer portal.
Yeah, I believe, though. I can't say for positive. I don't know if he was a graduate transfer or not. But regardless, back to the news at hand. Yeah, just every 4 to 6 years, since you're not going to be one of those dynasty teams, you have to pick your.
He barely played this year, though. I'm sorry, real quick. He barely played this year, so it's not that big of a hit. I'm sorry. You can keep going.
Yeah. You just have to pick and choose when, like, your recruiting classes that you want to go all in on. Like, you have to have that, like, one recruiting class every 4 years where you
But the thing is Franklin gets great recruiting classes. It's not that. His recruiting classes compete with Michigan and Ohio State's every year. He gets great recruits. He gets great transfers. Like, his players are great. He just can't do it. And Nick Singleton's the best freshman running back in the country this year.
I mean, you're not lying.
But he just can't do it. And the thing is like, I understand when you're a fucking middle of the pack team or you're like Michigan State. What's different? What if you're selling a kid to go to Michigan and Michigan State? It's not a big difference. Penn State, in my opinion, is the most live home games in college football. Their whiteouts, nothing touches that. Nothing touches that. That's a recruiting point. You can get a kid to go there. You get a kid that's like, well, Michigan and Ohio State win it every year. Okay, so then why don't you come here? Look what we do. Let's start that here. Let's sign Zach Watts, the number 1 recruit in the country, and then you put Penn State on the map, and it goes, whoa, when did Penn State turn the corner? When you came. There's things they could be doing, and I feel like he's just not pro. I feel like, and like I said, I don't know the man. I don't know the culture. I don't know much what's going on. This is just as a fan and someone that studies the sport. I feel like he's content at where he's at because he knows his job security is safe. Yeah, he's probably a little pissed he's not winning a little more, but, like, I feel like there's not a fire under his ass to take that next step. He's content with being really good when he has the potential to be great.
Yeah, I agree. Moving on from Penn State, though, another team, like you said, Michigan State. They literally paid Mel Tucker to put up mediocrity.
You gave him
That's it.
$90 million after one season to go fucking 5-7. And on top of that, we gave Zach his credit for being a guru, right? And for predicting the Kansas State winning the Big 12. Go back to that same fucking pod. And I know I just watched it last night. Go back to that same pod. And I stated, I'm going to get a lot of hate for this, but Mel Tucker is an overrated coach who looked better because he was carried by Kenneth Walker. I say that in the fucking pod. And who was right?
Yeah, I agree. We see it with so many coaches too. Like they get carried by like one or two good players, and it earns them like a bag, and then they just don't do shit. They're like, sorry, like goodbye. Nothing happens for you.
Another example, Pat Narduzzi at Pitt. I think he's overrated as fuck. I've never thought he was a good coach.
Yeah, I agree. Moving on from the Big Ten, we have the ACC. Excuse me. This will be the last Power 5 before we introduce our Power 6 conference. Let's go over some of the talking points for the ACC. Number one, Clemson is back, but it's not the Clemson that we all know and love. As we all know, DJ Ukulele will enter the transfer portal. Next man up mentality. Look, I don't know how he was a starter for 2 years. I think Clemson's team were really talented. I just think DJ wasn't able to take him to the next level. Look, wish him nothing but the best.
And it's not, and on top of that, it's not a talent issue. He has the talent.
Yeah.
He has all the tools. He just can't fucking put it together.
Yeah. But hey, some players are like that. And it's unfair, but hey, life's hard. Get over it.
He'll go somewhere good and be great. He's going to go somewhere else. It's going to be like Jalen Hurts, except Jalen's better, obviously. He's going to go somewhere else. He's going to lead them to be really good because he's a good quarterback. And then when he goes to the draft, they're going to be like, look how much he's changed mentally. Look how much he's matured. Like, look how much better he is. Honestly, this is probably the best thing that's happened in his career.
Yeah.
I agree with Stu. What Stu said, go to the Pac-12. Fuck playing defenses. Just ball out your last year or two in college.
Yeah, I agree 100%. Another team I want to talk about, this is obviously me and Grayson's pride and joy. Florida State is back. If anyone says they're not, go fuck yourself. I don't care what you think. We're a top 15 team in the nation. Should be top 10 if we don't fuck that NC State game up. It is what it is. We'll still keep growing from it. By the way, I am going to say this. Fuck the committee and their decision making. I don't want to play no goddamn Cheez It Bowl against a 6-6 team. Yeah. Give us someone better. Let us prove that we are back officially. And hey, fuck it. If we play a better team and we lose, I'm fine with it. It'll let us know where we're at. I'm tired of playing these teams below us that I know we can beat, and then us coming out with wins. Because guess what?
And then the narrative of everyone's like, well, Florida State, their only good wins at LSU, like da da da. It's like, bro, we're trying, bro, but it doesn't help us when you give us a fucking 6-6 Oklahoma team.
Yeah, like I'm tired. I already said it before. I'm gonna say it again. I'm tired of the conference placement equals bids. Shouldn't be how it is. It should be a committee, looks at everything you did throughout the season, looks at all your injuries going into the game, and they set up the best matchups for the fans. Not, oh, sorry, rules are rules. You get in this game. No one wants to fucking watch Purdue play fucking LSU in some meaningless New Year's Six Bowl just to watch Purdue get the shit kicked out of them.
Dude, it's also really frustrating as a Florida State fan to be like, it's the best season we've had in 5 years. You're going to get rewarded at playing a fucking team that barely made a bowl game. Yeah. That's how you're getting rewarded.
Okay. I also would have respected it more if we were like a better quality chip. We're a fucking Cheez-It. If we would have called it the Pringles Bowl, I'd be like, all right, that's kind of live. Like,
and Jay Brooks, if you're listening, but you're probably not because you're a piece of shit. You're telling us, guys, no, listen, this is you're not understanding. We're in Orlando, so we're going to get a lot more recruits there. And this is that. Bro, recruits don't give a fuck if we beat Oklahoma, bro. Like, yeah, we'll probably get 1 or 2 recruits that are going to go because it's in Orlando and it gives a Florida thing. We're going to wax them, which looks good. But, like, we needed to play a good team. And I really wanted Kansas State to lose. I thought us versus Kansas State would have been a great matchup. Great matchup.
Yes, it would have been high scoring as fuck. Our defenses probably would have been exposed on both sides, but I don't give a shit.
It would have been a top 15 game. Like, it would have been a game that both teams deserved.
Yeah, and that's how it should be. It should always be like seeding versus seeding at the end of the year. It shouldn't be this fucking like predetermined bullshit that you decided because certain conferences paid a certain amount of money. I don't know what decided it. I just know it's stupid, and I'm going to call it.
It's money. It's always money. At the end of the day, it's money.
Yeah. Let's get back to the ACC though. Another team we want to talk about. Our favorite player, Sean Tucker. I I'm very pleased. I'm very pleased with his college performance overall.
Yes, I'm very pleased as well.
Yes, this is a very quality man. He's going to make an NFL team very happy. I will
He's only a
promise you.
sophomore though. He has one more year.
Holy shit!
He has one more year.
This dude's going to be a problem. Sorry, Sean. Looks like you're gonna have to go back to school for another year. That fucking blows. Shout out graduation. Outside of that, though, Syracuse started hot, disappeared. Happens to a lot of teams.
Yeah, but did they really start hot, or they just beat 4 shitty teams?
Call it what you will.
Yeah, like
I'm just saying. For a Syracuse team, it was better than I expected.
Oh, I agree. Yeah, no. For them, it was good. Yeah, but they were ranked at like 13 at one point, and it was like, all right, all your horses here, mate.
Yeah, I mean, like we can go back and talk to it. Like we said before, how rankings shouldn't come out till like week 5 of the season, and then like you release your top 5, and then your top 10, and then top 15, and top 20, and top 25. Yeah, I think that's how it should be, because honestly, just pissing people off at the beginning of the year because you pre-ranked
your school, because your school gets the most money views. Like Texas coming in at 10 because they bring in billions of dollars. Like,
yeah, like oh, I get it. Let's rank Utah at 12, only for Florida to beat their ass, and then instead of just admitting,
homie, Utah was at 7 when they lost to Florida. They weren't at 12. They were at 7. They were in the top 10.
Yeah. So then rather admitting that you fucked up by putting Utah too high, you know what you did? Oh wait, no, this must mean that Florida is the number 10. Yeah,
this must mean that Florida is really good. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, and then they turn around and lose to Kentucky, and then instead of admitting that you ranked Florida too high, you're like, oh, Kentucky must be like 12th
and then
team in the nation.
It just kept going. Like, instead of being like, all right, we fucked up here, it's like, no, listen, they're just that good.
Yeah. Every time, like, oh, there's no way we can get anything wrong. Like, surely. But yeah, fuck that. On the other side of things, you want to talk about a team that started as irrelevant but started to gain my respect throughout the year? I want to look at the University of Louisville.
Mm-hmm.
Really weird coming out of them. You know, you called that Wake Forest ass beating by them. That was surprising. I didn't think that was going to come to fruition.
You're not the only guru, Zach. You're not the only guru.
Hey, I'm just saying, Louisville. I think what made them so good though this year is how their defense played.
Their defense. They had one of the best underrated defenses in college football, in my opinion.
Yeah, just extremely underrated. Kind of came out of nowhere. You didn't really know what you were getting from them.
Dude, they're a really weird team, but I enjoyed them because they're the kind of team, like, the way I look at it is like I look at it in wrestling terms. They're like a kid that wrestles at a Big Ten team, but he's not like. He's like the 5th best kid in the Big Ten, but you already know every time you wrestle him, he's going to give you fucking hell. I mean, They beat UCF. They gave Florida State hell, all right? They beat Wake Forest's ass. They beat James Madison's ass, and they beat NC State's ass. Like, so they were hard to beat. And at home, dude, I think that Louisville at-home night game environment is fucking lit. I think it's underrated.
Yeah, I completely agree. But yeah, you know, Louisville's also been in that weird position ever since Lamar left, that like you really didn't think they were that good, or if it was just like a player carrying or two. No, this team has quality players throughout the roster now. It's not just
front seven. Their front seven's one of the best front 7 in college football.
Yes, completely agree. Going back to the opposite side of things, this ACC overall very hot and cold, kind of team base. Like you have some teams that played really well above expectations, showed out, and then you had other teams where they just fucking couldn't be worse from where they were supposed to be. And one of those teams is NC State. Look, I get it. You lost your starting quarterback. You've had to fight through some adversity, but you should have lost to Florida State, first of all. If it wasn't for us selling that game, we would have been a top 10 team. I'm going to keep bitching about that for as long as I live. You were overrated as fuck to begin with, and then you lost your quarterback, and then you really showed who you were. Now,
yeah, I think though, the one look, I'm more than okay to shit on Dave Doreen and NC State. I have no ties, no love. I don't give a fuck about them, but they have the best linebacking trio in college football, 100%. Their linebackers are gross. That's what made their team. But there wasn't like a thing about NC State that I was like, they're good because of this. Like, they weren't like anything spectacular. I mean, they started shitting the bed at the end of the season too.
Yeah.
They did beat UNC though, which was awesome.
Yes. Solid for them. Fuck yes. UNC is also overrated as fuck. Mac Brown piece of shit. Let's just rapid fire off some of these other teams. Wake Forest kind of hit by the injury bug. We were so high on Sam Hartman early in the year. He's a dog, but then
He still
for
is.
some reason,
He's so injury prone.
yeah. By the way, for those of you that don't know, this man had a rib removed, and he keeps it in his refrigerator so that when the season's done, he's gonna get a necklace made out of his own rib. Now I don't know about you, but that is the most savage shit I've ever
I think
heard
that's hard as fuck.
in my life. Why he got a rib removed, I don't know. What the fuck? That's kind of insane. I don't know what that would feel like. Maybe you just have like a gap. I don't know if they just compacted his shit, but that's weird.
It'd be scary too as a quarterback to have one less rib.
Yeah. He also shaved his head and his beard, which I think is a weird look for him. I thought he was a very good looking man. Go to the Bachelor, I guess. Fuck it. Who is our one guy at FAU that went on the Bachelor and blew the fuck up?
Fucking I'm looking at him. Tyler Cameron.
Tyler.
Yeah, Tyler fucking Cameron.
Holy shit. That man blew the fuck up overnight. Sam Hartman probably will too someday. Some other teams, Duke on the come up. Shout out Anthony Nelson.
Shout out Anthony Nelson. Everything you said this year in our podcast preseason fucking came true.
What was he saying?
He said that they're gonna get over 6 wins. They're gonna be in contention for the ACC title. Every fucking thing he said became true. If they don't lose at Georgia Tech, they go to the ACC title. How crazy is that? They don't get upset by Georgia Tech. Duke goes in the ACC championship game.
Yeah. Huge shout out to him. I mean, he does have a degree from Harvard and Duke now, so I would assume that he's a pretty smart individual.
On top of that, he their head coach, I don't remember his name, but one ACC coach of the year, well deserving. Number 2 was Mike Norvell. But honestly, you gotta give it to the Duke guy. They went from 2 wins to 7 wins. Much respect to them. Yeah,
big on them. Shout out Nelson. Some other thing to talk about. We're gonna shit on Miami. That's how it is. You also see, and I heard you're also considering bringing in Willie Taggart as an offensive coordinator. Please do. I'm not gonna add any more to that.
I just don't get what you watch in any game after his USF career where you're like, that's the offense we want to run.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah. Whatever. Like we said, UNC only beats pillows. They're frauds. They're a hollow shell of a UNC team. You're a basketball school. Go back to being that. I will say this though, Drake May, you're good.
No, he's good. Yeah, I don't like him, but he's good.
Yeah, you're fucking good, bro. I wish you would have committed anywhere else in the country, and I would have been a little more higher on you. But unfortunately, I can't name a single pro quarterback out of UNC other than Sam Howell. And guess what? He can't even play for the Washington.
Hey, whoa. Mitch Kissing Titties came out of UNC, brother.
Oh, yeah, like that. Oh.
That's the MVP, bro. That's the Nickelodeon's valuable player. What do you mean?
Yeah, I watched him get cut over Nathan Peterman, and I don't know. I don't even know what to say. UNC may be the greatest school at producing third-string quarterbacks in fucking history. Holy shit.
Yeah, you guys are killing it.
Yeah, wow. Keep doing what you're doing. I'm sure you'll create someone that you might get a second stringer. You might produce the next Chase Daniels for all I know. Can't say for certain, but I mean, shit, who am I bitching at? If I were to make $42 million,
yeah, I wouldn't be bitching either.
I would be loaded. Another thing, here's an interesting talking point that we need to discuss. We talk about shitty divisions in football and why we need to go eliminate the division standings and just make it like the Big 12 and the Pac-12 by just straight up making it like, hey, top 2 seeds go. Look at the Big 10 West and look at the ACC Coastal. On one side, let's look at the ACC Coastal real quick. So at least on the Atlantic, in the Atlantic Conference, you had three ranked teams: number 7 Clemson, 13 Florida State, and 23 NC State. You look at the Coastal side, your best team went 9-4, and that was UNC. You have UNC, Pitt, Duke, Georgia Tech, Miami, Virginia Tech, and Virginia. Now, take those teams and compare them to the Big 10 West. Purdue, who went, by the way, 8-5 and played in their conference championship, Illinois Fighting I, who were ranked earlier in the season. I'll give them that. Iowa, Minnesota, Wisconsin, Nebraska, Northwestern.
That's
Who
pretty shit.
sucks? Who sucks more dick?
Pretty shit. Yeah, let's wrap it up with our last conference, our Power Six, the American Athletic Conference. And by the way, the reason we're calling it Power Six is what outside of money, what really made the Power Five different than the other conferences, is that if you won, you went to the championship. If you won, you went to this. If you win the AAC now, you go to the playoffs.
Yes.
That's how it works. So why would you not consider it a Power Six?
Yes.
That's a recruiting factor as well. Do I think it's as like in depth and as good? No, I'm not saying that. But the whole reason you call it Power Five is because if you win, you go, and if they win, they go. So therefore, that's Power Six. Yeah, Tulane took home their first ever AAC title. Awesome, love to see that. Tulane's a dope school. I visited it. Super cool. Their coach, I don't know. I honestly don't know anything about them. I just know that they're good. They keep it active. They got robbed of a college game day versus UCF, which was bullshit. UCF had a pretty UCF season, looked really good, and then got upset by fucking Navy who had one pass attempt in the entire fucking game. Also, real quick, Zach, we've got to mention this Army-Navy game this weekend. Make sure to check that out. It does not matter if they are good or not. Always a historic game, must watch. Gotta love it. Cincinnati had a great year, started off hot, and then kind of dwindled down. You gotta wonder a little if that's partially due to because Luke Fickell knew he was heading out. You gotta wonder that. Houston was very disappointing in my opinion. They get Dana Holgerson, who had a great career at West Virginia. I believe he had a good career somewhere else before that. I don't know too well. He didn't do shit. Like they didn't do anything this year. And USF sucks. I miss when they were good. Shit happens. And shout out to Tanner Mordecai, quarterback at SMU. Used to play at Texas. He had a sleeper season. Really, very sleeper season. That's all I have to say for the AAC.
Yeah. I think my biggest talking point would have just been who do you give Coach of the Year, Gus Malzahn or the Tulane head coach? Gus Malzahn took that program over, did extremely well. Obviously, you lose that Navy game, kind of hurts your chances. Tulane, first ever ACC title. Interesting conversation. Personally, I'd probably give it to Tulane.
Yeah, I don't know his name. I honestly, I feel kind of embarrassed that I don't know much about him because he's done so well.
Yeah. But that's another thing within college football. Like we can only look at so much, and unfortunately, if you're not in the Power Five, you don't get looked at a lot. But hey, with this new turn of the tide, we're gonna have to be looking at the AAC more because hey, the winner is a representative in the college football playoff, and we got to know these things. So it's a learning process, even for us, even as fans. We'll continue to grow, and learn about it. But yeah, AAC. I know they have some teams moving in and out. Since he's probably going to the Big 12, I believe.
I think if I'm not mistaken, it's Cincy, Houston, Memphis, and BYU are going to the Big 12.
Okay, and then coming to the AAC is FAU.
It's FAU, North Texas. I think UTSA and another team.
Yeah, UTSA and maybe Rice. No, not Rice.
No, I don't know. I know it's FAU and North Texas for sure.
Yeah, and I think you're right about UCSA. It'll be interesting to see how it cooks up. Obviously, there's going to be a lot of movement in and out of conferences with all this NIL shit and the new college football format. Look, shit's going to be weird. We'll try to work through the weird with you. That's just who we are. Moving on from that, let's look at what this season was all about, what all these teams play for, what you want at the end of the season, and that is to play for glory. The college football playoff, the national championship. As it stands now, we have officially received our 4-seeded teams. We have the Georgia Bulldogs, who are number one, have been all year, returning national champs, pretty dominant across the board. There's no mistake why they're the number one team. Let's just accept it. Number 2, Michigan, also undefeated, beat their rival Ohio State, won their conference championship. They are well deserving of the number 2 seed. Number 3 is TCU, despite losing their conference championship in overtime. It was their first game of the season. They've had the most ranked matchups and ranked wins over any other top 4 teams. I think their spot's well deserving. I'm glad that just because they lost, they did not get taken out. Number 4 was USC, but because they lost in an ass-whooping fashion to Utah again, Ohio State gets a chance at redemption, at glory, by making it back into the playoff. Now, they will have to beat UGA, and with the Michigan win, they will earn their rematch. That is
Dude,
not.
you already know your NCAA is praying for an Ohio State Michigan rematch in the Natty.
If Ohio State gets that upset, shit is going to hit the fan. Because I'm going to be honest, if Ohio State's going to need to play a lot better if they want to beat Georgia. But if they do beat Georgia, if I was a Michigan fan, I'd be like, holy shit.
Can I be
like,
honest too? I don't think Ohio State's beating Georgia. I'm not going to sit here.
Oh yeah, no, yeah.
But hot take. Out of these 3 teams, I think Ohio State has the best chance to beat them.
Yeah,
that's my hot take. I think Ohio State matches up with Georgia better than TCU and Michigan does.
Yeah.
Now I'm not saying they're going to win. I just think they match up the best.
Yes, I completely agree. And look, I'm not going to sit here and act like that Michigan ass whooping of Ohio State was like, oh, it's like a fluke or whatever. Like, no, Michigan played the better football game. They're better coached, is what it is. But you look at, do you really expect JJ McCarthy to like dominate this Georgia defense?
No.
Even I'm going to be honest. I know I've said this before, but even without Blake Corum, I think Donovan Edwards is just as good. I mean, dude, he ran for like 200 yards in Corum's absence. Like, he's still a fucking dog.
He's still a dog.
Yeah, you're not missing a lot there. So it's not like you can complain about, oh, you're missing your best players. But outside of that, let's talk about, honestly, I think this was the best case scenario. I think this is what should have happened. I'm glad that the seeding ended up as it did.
No, I agree with what you said in the beginning of the pod. This is the first time that I could recall of a playoff where like there's no arguments. Like these are the right 4 in the order they're in.
Yeah. Let's talk about the absolute best case scenario, though. It would have been if Ohio State and Michigan switched spots. And now I know you're thinking, you're like, how can you argue that? How can you say that? Look, it's not from a win perspective, but just from a fan's perspective. I wanted to see God come. Yes. The fact that they would have had to put that on my television for weeks straight would have made me laugh every time. Call me a child. I don't care. I thought it would have been hilarious. And I probably would have laughed every time I saw it. It's just like kind of like how you're a little kid, the word wiener is just like unreasonably funny to you. Like, that's just the male brain. Enjoy it. Get over yourself. Worst case scenario is if they would have dropped TCU out of the rankings altogether and just found a way to put Bama and Ohio State in. Now,
then there's no argument that NCAA only gives them money. And I think they knew that. I think because someone was talking to me and they were like, well, you think they did it because they wanted to say fuck you to Alabama? No, they wanted Alabama in there because the Alabama fans bring money and that Alabama is going to do very well in it. But I also feel like they were in a spot where they're like, look, we all know TCU deserves it more. If we do this, it's very obvious we're running a fucking monopoly.
Yeah, and it's also obvious that we play some pretty high favoritism over here.
We do. I did kind of want it to happen for my boy Stu. He put $100 to win, I think $3,500 on Alabama winning it all. But hey, it is what it is, man. It is what it is.
Yeah. You called it. You did say TCU and USC would lose. Unfortunately, what you didn't get right is that the committee would shove it so far up your ass that you wouldn't be able to cash in that bet. Sorry, Stu. It is what it is. You're gonna have to live with it, buddy. But
let's move on to our coaching carousel. You know, we're talking a lot out here, Zach Watts, about the transfer portal within players, but there's a lot of transfer portal with the coaches. Okay.
Yes.
Starting us off, we got Jamie Chadwell from Coastal Carolina, went over to Liberty. Very, very weird hire to me. A little background on Jamie Chadwell. Chadwell led Coastal Carolina to the national spotlight with back-to-back 11-win seasons in 2020 and 2021. His offensive success will play well with that Liberty program that has emerged as such a threat under Hugh Freeze. What I don't understand, Zach Watts, is what is different between Liberty and Coastal Carolina. I mean, maybe, obviously, like maybe they gave him more money. But you don't think that if he went up to Coastal, like, look, this is what Liberty's offering me, match it, they wouldn't have done it? He's the best coach they've ever had. So that's where it's a little confusing to me because you didn't go to a bigger job. You went to arguably the same level job in conference.
This is where I'm on the same page with you 100%. This is what just kind of confuses me. Look, I get Liberty's a really talented roster, and Hugh Freeze left behind a plethora of talent there. But don't you think what you had going at Coastal, it was just as good? And because you left, what that lets me know is you knew your Coastal team was falling apart and that they weren't going to put up success. So you just took the next best available job so that you would lead on the presumption that you're still a great coach. Now, you very well are a great coach, not knocking you for that, but it just isn't a good look. I thought this would have been a great, like, when I went over the coaching carousel about some of these coaching positions that opened up, I had you stapled as like stapled as a coach that teams would be willing to take a chance on, coming from a non-power 5 school.
If I to back you up, if I'm not mistaken, I believe you dropped his name for the Cincinnati job.
Yes, I did.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I did. And I had him for plenty of other jobs in there just because I thought, dude, you had done so great with Coastal. You had
developed Grayson McCall as well.
You had done an amazing job there. I don't understand why you wouldn't have taken this chance, this opportunity to go up a coaching level and try to you plateaued, bro. Like, come on. And what makes this worse for you is if you don't do the same thing with Coastal, if not better, with Liberty, you're fucked. You're fucked. You literally just showed everyone that you backed out of Coastal because you peaked. That's what it looks like. So honestly, I think this coaching hire, good for Liberty. You were able to replace your head coach of Hugh Freeze extremely fast with another equally as caliber coach, maybe. But if he starts fucking up fast, that's bad. You're in a really bad place from there on out. And I don't know, man. I think it was. I don't want to say high risk, high reward. It was more of a high risk, low reward because like your reward is just getting.
Like like, let's say you have the same 3 seasons Liberty did at Coastal. You go 11-1, 11-1. I think they went 10-3 this year. What difference is that? You're not going to a BCS bowl. Like, what difference is that?
Yeah, I don't know, man. It doesn't. Really...
I wish I knew more of the behind the scenes in this hire because just from what we know, going into this pod, it doesn't make any fucking sense to me at all.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. Let's move on.
Our next one just happened either today or yesterday. Scott Satterfield from Louisville is going to Cincinnati. This one at first to me was weird. It's like, why do you leave Louisville to go to Cincy? Especially since we were just talking so highly on Louisville and everything they're doing. By the way, this Louisville job, in my opinion, is the hottest open job right now outside of Stanford.
Yeah.
Okay. But I mean, he went 25-24 in his 4 seasons with the Cardinals. I don't think he's a bad coach. What
are you looking at?
Oh, that's right. Okay, so this is this is it. Scott Satterfield. He was the old App State coach when they went from FCS to FBS. He had a historic run in the FCS. They were one of the they were a North Dakota State caliber team. Came in, had a phenomenal transition. Take the Louisville job, and you're kind of like, when we were talking to Jay Brooks again, I hate Jay, and they're like, why would you leave Louisville for Cincinnati? Well, first, it's a fresh start. You went 25-24. You didn't do bad at Louisville. You didn't meet the expectations you're used to being at App State. It's a fresh start. Luke Fickell, like we said earlier in this pod, has laid out the entire thing for you. He left you a fucking blueprint of success at Cincinnati. He left you great players. He left you great coaches. He left you a great culture. He left you everything. The recruiting classes are probably still pretty good. So all you have to do is, if you stay at Louisville, you're kind of still having to build it. All you have to do at Cincy is not fuck it. Your recruiting competition is way easier. And on top of that, you're transitioning into the Big 12 when the 2 biggest teams in the Big 12 are leaving. So does it make a lot of sense? No, but it's also not as weird to me as the Jamie Chadwell, personally.
Yeah. I completely agree with everything you said about Scott Satterfield. What I wanted to bring up here is with that Louisville head coaching opening, I have a name that I want to throw out there that I think is very befitting for this role. And knock me if you want, but it's a man that has his experience with Louisville. He's a man that already knows the strengths of this team and can build on it. That is Charlie Strong, the Miami, Florida, DC linebacker.
I'm knocking you after it.
Okay. He was a part of that 2012-2013 team that won 11-2 and 12-1.
In the Big East, yes.
Okay. He's pretty legitimate in his own right. Now, look, I know you want to say he left him earlier for that Texas job. Do what you want to say. I think this would be a good chance to just like kind of Give it another
I
effort.
really hope we don't have any Louisville fans on this podcast. Bruh, Charlie Strong is not that guy. Yeah, it's not even for Texas. It's for USF. He went there and
All
made them worse.
Okay, fair. Okay. If you want me to throw another name out there,
Yes,
LSU defensive coordinator Matt House.
Yes, that's good. That's a good one. That's a good name to throw out there.
Yeah. If not, some of the other names I've been reading have just been pissing me off. I've seen Dan Mullen's name being involved in there.
That's not bad at all. That's not bad at all.
Dan
Mullen to Louisville is not bad at all, Zach Watts. I kind of like that.
All right. You know what?
I kind of like that. He has success in Power 5. He was going to Mississippi State. He was going to Florida. He's going to an easier conference.
For the sake of guruism, for the sake of guruism, I'll ride with that Dan Mullen name. I'm not saying it should. I will admit that Charlie Strong, the more I think about how I've known him, I was wondering why that name was kind of sitting with me a little weirdly. Kind of a dumbass thing to throw out there, only because he's been there before.
No, I do understand where you came from. I wasn't trying to just completely shit on you, but I think the Louisville, I think this Louisville job opening, like I said, is the biggest open job right now.
Yeah, I would like to see Matt House get a head coaching stint just because I think LSU's defense is pretty solid. And
I got one I'm sitting on that I haven't even looked up. I'm just sitting on it.
What?
We're in Kentucky, right?
Oh no.
We're Southern School. How about we call Coach O, see what he's been doing? Let's call Coach O, see what he's been up to.
Yeah, the moment you said Southern School, I was like, oh, fuck this shit. I was like, this man, if LSU didn't pay him as much money as they did for him to sit at home and not do shit, I feel like he'd already have that coaching job. But the fact that he got paid bank to never coach again.
They told me to get $19 million to do nothing. I said, where's the door?
Yeah.
I said, show me to close the door.
Yeah, that is literally that's what Coach O boils down to. Always a great guy, but personally, I think Matt House or Dan Mullen would be pretty solid. Some other names that I saw, but I'm not really big on. Jeff Brom, Purdue's head coach. No. Tyson Helton, Western Kentucky's head coach. No. Sean Clark, App State's head coach. No. Maybe. No. Not huge on it, but definitely Matt House, definitely Dan Mullen. I'd be interested to see.
I would also be interested to see. I don't remember his name, so forgive me, but the UTSA head coach.
Yeah.
I'd be interested to see if they talk to him or not.
Yeah. That would be pretty interesting. Some other names to throw out there. Keeping it in Florida, because I know we brought up Charlie Strong. Let's talk about the new FAU head coach.
Yes, great hire.
Herman. Now look, people want to sit there and bitch about how, why are we bringing in Herman? Everyone has their bitch complaint like he didn't really do anything, dude. What people have to realize is, as an FAU student and about to be alum, as you are being haunted by ghosts, it appears.
There's a mosquito that's just jabbing me and swimming away.
Here's how I look at it. We are always going to get, our goal is to get our Lane Kiffins. And what that means is we are looking for coaches that are going to use us like a stepping stool in order to find better head coaching hires. Now, I know that doesn't sound good, but you've got to realize something. We are like the 5th or 6th best football school in the state of Florida. It is going to be damn near impossible to get a head coach that wants to stick with us for the long run before they find a better job.
We don't have the money also. Even with Lane, we couldn't throw Lane an Ole Miss contract number. We don't have that much money.
Yeah, I completely agree. And here's another thing I want to look at. I know I like to go to my metaphors. We are the grenade of the friend group when it comes to Florida schools. We're not dimes, so we've got to whore it out when it comes. If we want to bring it in,
but look, I agree with you. But we're the grenade that's like a beautiful big girl that if we just worked out, we could become a dime.
Yes,
the potential is there. Potential is there.
Yes, we have the face. It's just once you go
and the personality, we just don't have. We're just like
yeah. The problem is we're hanging out with some baddies, and if you ain't. I'll be honest. When you roll into that friend group, no one's looking at the friend group and they're gonna be like, "Oh, I want to take her home." They want to take on the baddest.
Yeah,
However,
and then you do the
yeah, you zeroed in. Now, Tom Herman, perfect man for the job. He was the guy in the friend group that like joined the party a little late. All the hotter girls are getting talked to. He was like, I gotta score with somebody. He's like, I gotta get with one of them. And guess what? Big girl, you gotta
you know
look
what
that
Tom
way.
Herman is? You know what Tom Herman is? Tom Herman is like you're like almost like a guy that's like a stud, but he's not like the shit. And he dates a girl a little bit below her, and he builds her up with him. That's what Tom Herman is.
Damn.
Tom Herman's the kind of guy. It's like, yeah, I could have dated a 9, I could have dated a 10, but like it would have been like probably a short relationship. There's too much drama. He's like, I'm gonna take this 6 who has the potential to be a 9, and I'm gonna do that myself. And then the loyalty with her will also be there.
Here's the problem though. What we're worried about is if Tom Herman is gonna let her down easy and just be like, look, I gotta move on to a new stage of my life, aka a different team. Or if he's gonna fuck her best friend behind his back.
No, he's respectful. I want to say when he left to go to Texas from Houston, he gave them a good farewell.
Well, I pray he leaves.
Dude, this bug is gonna piss me off.
Yeah, well, I pray he's gonna leave some good things behind for FAU. Otherwise, hey, FAU, you got to turn into the whore of the friend group. You just got to do whatever it takes to score. Do whatever it takes. If you have to buy him drinks, you do it.
Yeah, but on the actual hire, I think it's a great hire. I mean, this is a name that we were talking about for like the Colorado job and Cincinnati job and like big jobs. And he went to FAU, which is a great hire. I mean, everyone just looks at Texas. Okay. I can name you 50 coaches that failed at Texas.
Yeah.
What he did at Houston, which is a more of a relatable program to FAU, was spectacular. Spectacular. Okay. He had an amazing run in Houston. He beat Oklahoma. He almost made the playoffs with Houston. He was almost the first man to do it. All right. He beat Oklahoma when they had Baker, and he beat Florida State that year. We were nasty. So good hire. Great hire in my opinion to FAU.
Yes, I agree. I didn't think they could do any better. Honestly, even when I did my projections for who would go to FAU, I was saying names way lower. Like, who was that West Virginia coach, Trickett? We brought up earlier. I thought he would have been a great fit just because of his ties to Florida, or FAU, excuse me, and USF. I thought that would have been a better fit. But the fact that they went out and got Herman, like, dude, like, what?
Just sorry to interrupt you. This thought just popped back into my brain. Let's remind you too, Zach, that I don't know if it's still to date, but at least at that time, he is the only man ever to have a 5-star go to a non-Power 5 school, and Ed Oliver at Houston his freshman year. He's the only man ever. And like I said, I don't know if it's still like that, but at the time, because Travis Hunter went. Yeah, he's not. But he was the first man ever to get a 5-star player to go to a non-Power 5 school in Ed Oliver. That's got to make you excited as a FAU fan.
Speaking about a lot of firsts, let's get into our next head coaching hire, which was able to get a 5-star to flip to his school, which he just arrived at.
In under 12 hours.
How about the man of the hour, prime time, Deion Sanders? Play me my motherfucking theme music, baby. This man, there's a lot of controversy rolling around with the name Sanders right now. Look, I'm going to address the people that are pissed off about this hire, more so in the sense that he left an HBCU in Jackson State and saying, oh, he only used us as a stepping stone. You know, he had no loyalty to us. He only used our HBCU name to build up himself. He had no, what's the word I'm looking for? I want to say this right because this is going to be pretty important.
I know what you're trying to say.
Yeah.
He had not right requirement maybe.
Yeah. He wasn't required to go to Jackson State to start his career. He could have gone to any other program in the country to start his head coaching career because a lot of teams were in the dumps and could have started over with Deion.
And he's one of the best football players that ever played the sport in the history of the sport.
Yes. This man not only went to an HBCU. Now, this is more of a knock on my part because before he went to Jackson State, I was not too familiar with the HBCU culture. I was not too familiar with the SWAC conference. I think it's Southwest Athletic Conference.
Yeah.
I was not too familiar with any of the things that went into the HBCU programs like FAMU, Bethune-Cookman. I knew about those schools just because of my Florida ties. I knew about them. Outside of that, did not know a whole lot about
Yeah,
it.
all I knew, like the backy, like the only reason I knew about the Bethune-Cookman at FAMU game is because every time they play, it's like a really big deal in Florida because like the black culture and everything, which I love. I'm not knocking. I think it's awesome. But outside of that, the only thing I knew is that they were all black historic schools and that they played a bowl game every year. That's all I know. That's it.
That's all we knew. And Dion not only went there, got them weekly national relevancy, brought in the first ever. This man at a, what are they? Are they FBS?
FCS.
FCS. As a FCS school, had a top 25 football recruiting class among all football programs.
He brought in a 5-star to a FCS team. The number 1 recruit in college football went to an FCS school.
Yes. To play for Deion Sanders. Think about that.
Yo, and on top of that, with what you're saying, Zach, all these people are bitching that we were a stepping stool, we were this, we were that. First of all, like you said, the fame, no one knew the fuck about HBCU was. And if we're going to even dissect even more into details, before he got to Jackson State, their football practices were on a high school field. A high school field. He built them a stadium. He got them sponsored by Under Armour. He got them NIL deals. He did more for HBCU in 3 seasons there than any man has ever done for HBCU.
Yes.
Football wise. I don't know anything else. Football wise.
Yes, just from a football perspective. Completely agree. Now, moving on to the team he is joining, the Boulder, Colorado Buffaloes, or whatever their mascot
Yeah, that's
is.
right.
Yeah. Look, he probably had other opportunities to go coach. Nah, he's doing the same thing he's doing to start his career. He's going to go to a lackluster Power 5 team, one of the worst in the country, and he's going to build them from dirt.
No, they are the worst Power 5 team.
Yeah, no, and he's going to build them from dirt, literal dirt. Like this, like people also want to get mad at that video he did when he showed up, because we were talking about this before the pod. When he showed up and he had that team meeting, he goes, I showed up and all my bags were Louis.
And I'm bringing my luggage.
AKA all y'all that are the reason for your 1-11 just piece of shit filth team. Get the fuck out.
No, and then wait, real quick, just to back up one step from where we started. What did you want Dion to do? You wanted him to sit there in front of these kids at Jackson State and be like, hey guys, I know I'm only getting paid $75,000 a year to be your coach, but I just want to let you know I turned down a $15 million contract because I want to stay with you. That doesn't promote. Think about it as a leader of young men. Because Dion, we talked about Ryan Day being a bad leader of young men. Dion is a phenomenal leader of young men. Okay. Yeah. What he's showing them and what he said to them, by the way, in the locker room, which is what I fucking love about Dion. He goes, this is life. I took a job that I loved and my heart was in it and I loved every second of it. And then a job that was better presented itself to me and I took it. And he told the kids the same thing. And even when, and this goes back to those same people, when he was in their first and second year and he got Jackson State good, and then he had kids starting to leave him for Power 5 schools, and they were interviewing him, like, what do you think about it? He goes, my job isn't to make them stay here. My job is to help them realize they need to be in the best position for themselves and their family. And if I'm able to do that by getting them to go to Florida State, or they're able to use Jackson State to go to Alabama, he goes, then my job is complete. And he is preaching what he did. And what more could you ask from a man to do that? He's preaching what he did. Or he did what he's preaching. Yeah, go back to Colorado. I'm sorry.
Yeah, no, you're good. I thought that was really accurate for the type of man that Dion is. And honestly, he told those Colorado players straight up, like, some of you aren't going to be here for the season. Like, he kept it straight. He wasn't going to tell them, like, oh, to you juniors and seniors that are here, like, I'm gonna honor your like football, whatever, yada yada bullshit. Whatever he wanted to say to make them feel good. Fuck your feelings. This is football.
Mm-hmm.
This is.
And I agree. And he didn't get hired for your feelings. He got hired to win. When they hired Deion Sanders, they weren't like, hey, by the way, don't hurt anybody's feelings. Like, we have a good culture. No. Are you going to take us to the Pac-12 championship? Yep. There you go. Yep. That's what he got hired to do.
And I'm willing to say this now. He will be in the Pac-12 championship in 3 to 4 years. I'm not going to say 1 to 2 because
I'm going to say 1 to 2 because USC and UCLA are gone. He only has Utah and Oregon. He beats one of them, he's in.
we have to think, though, this is the Pac-12. Is Deion going to be able to beat the Pac-12 curse?
Well, this is where I wanted to dive in with it. First, I agree with you with the respect thing. I think him being straightforward with them and like think about it as you as an athlete. Like I was telling Zach, like if my head coach, if Mahmoud got offered to be the wrestling coach at American Top Team, like headquarters, I would want him to tell me straight up, like Grayson, this is the better job for me. I'm going to get paid better. This is better for my family. I would love for you to come with me, but I have to go take it. Rather than him be like, man, I don't want it, or like, dude, nah, blah, blah. No, be straightforward. They're men. Like they're men. Okay, lying to them would have been way worse for him to lie to them, and then when season comes and they can't transfer, they get fucked. Okay, that was that. What I am very intrigued about with Deion is going to bring the Florida boys to the Pac-12.
Yes,
You're going to see SEC caliber players in the West Coast football now because they will follow Deion. You don't ever got to worry about recruits. Young men, if you're a young black man in America, what's a better role model and representative for you to become a great man in our society than Deion fucking Sanders? There's not.
Yeah.
There's just not. There's not a better. And that's what I told my dad about when Travis Hunter went there. I was like, yeah, it sucks as a Florida State fan, but when you're a young black kid and you're sitting down, he walks in. That is a man that understands where you are, has been and done what you are doing, and has succeeded in both football and life. What better fucking role model to teach young black men in America football and life? And that's what he said when he got to Colorado. He goes, you guys are going to become better at football and life.
Yeah. And
I'm buying a Colorado jersey, bro. I'm fucking hyped right now.
Yeah. No, here's another thing that I think people need to realize. Dude, Deion could have started a football program in Anchorage, Alaska, and he would have gotten Power 5 recruits to go to fucking Alaska, bro. Like, you got to realize, I get it. For some people, proximity to home is important. Playing in front of your family is important. That's for some. I promise you there are players that would be willing to play in fucking Dagestan if it meant to get a Division I football opportunity. There are some dogs out there that don't give a fuck who they play for, where they play for. They just want to play football. And I promise you, Deion, if there's one thing Deion knows better than anyone else, it's fucking football. It's the game of football.
It's how to win. It's how to go to the NFL. And those are the two things every kid in high school wants. They want to win and they want to go to the NFL. And that man has done it both.
Yes, 100% agree. Honestly, I don't have anything more to say about Deion. And honestly, I'm sorry to Alex Galesh, who went from Tennessee offensive coordinator to head coach at USF. Let's just be honest, we can't do you justice by following you up with Deion. But that just shows you the caliber. Yeah, we kind of fucked him there. Look, Deion's just a man, and Galesh, hey, maybe be the greatest cornerback ever and then turn head coach. I don't know. Maybe try to do what Deion did. Oh, wait, you can't? Go fuck yourself. I don't care.
I wonder how crazy this week's gonna be with the transfer portal with Deion at Colorado.
Dude, there's gonna be. I feel like that's all I'm gonna see. I might as well just set my alerts on the Colorado football program and just see what the fuck goes down. Because right now I think the only thing I'm getting is like the big signees. But I wouldn't be surprised if he got a full if honestly, mark my words, by the end of this transfer portal, he will have a top 25 class.
Yeah, or at least top 3 in the Pac-12.
Yeah, but top 25 overall.
One more thing real quick before we move on to the bowl matchups, because I know that's what you're trying to transition to. The other thing about Deion, and this is where I think location doesn't matter, is where you were talking about like proximity to home. A lot of these kids want to stay close to their mom. And that was a big thing for me too when I was a recruiter. I was like, I want to be able to see my family whenever I want to see my family. But if we're going to talk about old school recruiting, let's go back to Bobby Bowden. You know what Bobby Bowden did so fucking well that got him so many goddamn great players? Is he would go into your house. You'd be a Southern boy. He'd go into your house. He'd make dinner for your mom. He'd make dinner for you. He'd sit down and he'd tell your mom. He wouldn't even look at the recruit. He'd look at your mom. He'd be like, your boy, when I understand this is a time in your life that's difficult for you and you don't want him to go far away because you don't know what's going on. He's going from a boy to a man. Your boy is safe with me. I will watch after him as a man and as a football player. I will make sure he becomes a great man and football player. Deion is the same thing. Deion, and you look at this too, outside of coaching, look at him as a father. He's a great father. Why would you not trust him, even if it meant your kid had to go a couple more miles away? You understand if he's with Deion and he's with Deion's staff, that he is going to become a great young man, and they are going to look after him. You know, and I think that's another reason why location doesn't matter as well too, is because he has that. Dion brings that family into coaching.
Yeah, honestly, what I would do is I'd be like, hey, you miss your son? Turn on your TV every fucking week. Every fucking week, that man is going to be on that television set. Guess what? You get to see him every week. Like I'm gonna have on TV.
And NIL wise, NIL is going to follow. I mean, look at Barstool. Barstool's probably already making Colorado merch out the fucking ass.
Yeah.
You don't think Dion can get tickets for all those people? Fuck yeah, bro.
Yeah. Like, come on, dude. But yeah, let's move into our last segment of the day. Obviously, we have another episode coming out, hopefully with Caleb and Stu on, where we break down the bowl matchups. Here's what I want to dive into a little bit. Because of the whole thing I went over earlier about, I think, like, pre-seeding before the season, like, based off how you do in your conference, that decides what bowl game you get put in. I think it's fucking stupid. I don't think that's what you should get. For example, we have our Music City Bowl, which was Kentucky, Iowa. I changed it to the Peach Bowl on this. I don't know why. Instead of Kentucky, Iowa, you know what this should have been?
All right, real quick before you dive into this, the point Zach's trying to make is when it comes to the New Year's Six bowls, which are like your BCS bowls, those are like the big. They're basically the only bowls that matter that aren't college playoffs.
Yeah.
It's not based on ranking. It's based on standing in your conference. So, like for example, the Rose Bowl right now is Utah and Penn State because it's supposed to be the best Big Ten team versus the best Pac-12 team. Well, the two best Big Ten teams are in the playoffs, so the next is Penn State. What we're trying to do here is show you what we think the bowl game should be and say fuck the standard of criteria based because of conference. It should be based on how good you are. That's what the point. That's what Zach's trying to get into here.
Yes. So starting us off, I know you have Kentucky and Iowa playing for the Music City Bowl. I switched it to the Peach Bowl because personally, I think the college football playoff shouldn't be taking up the spaces of the New Year's Six bowls. I think they should be their own.
It's going to eventually be just that's what's going to do in 2 years. But yeah.
Yeah, and I'm fine if it ends up being the entire thing, but don't just take like two of the games. Like for now, separate your New Year's Six Bowl from your playoff. Make your New Year's Six Bowls the top seeds in the country. And here's what I would have had it as. Rather than Kentucky, Iowa, LSU, Alabama rematch. This is a one-score game. It's two SEC schools that probably had a lot going into it. Look, I know with the Jaden Daniels injury may kind of screw this up a little bit. I think it would have been a great rematch. And it kind of shows you how well Alabama's able to adjust.
And you're talking about this when it comes to NCAA. That does a lot more sales and money and view and everything than the fucking Kentucky Iowa game.
Yeah. Oh my God, such a shit show. Next game I want to talk about Sugar Bowl, which was originally Alabama, Kansas State. Look, Kansas State, great year, phenomenal.
Deserves to be there.
You're getting dog walk wild.
Fucked. Yeah, they're getting
fucked. Let's be honest. You know what would have been a better matchup for Kansas State in this one? How about another top 15 matchup in number 13 Florida State? Two high-powered offenses with not the best defenses, but who gives a shit? It's gonna be New Year's. You want to watch some banger football games where teams are going to war. You know,
it's a great game. It's a great fucking game.
What this game?
It's kind of like two of the same teams in a way.
I was just gonna say, you know what this game kind of reminds me of in years past? I think it was, remember when Baylor and TCU played each other, and wasn't it Baylor or one of them came back down like 30?
Yes, down by like 30 at half. Yeah, they went to like 6 overtimes.
Yeah, that's
it was TCU and Oregon.
I could have sworn it was Baylor.
No, anyway. TCU and Oregon because the Oregon quarterback was Vernon Adams, who was the quarterback at Eastern Washington for Cooper Kupp. He grad transferred to Oregon. He broke both starting quarterbacks went out when it went to overtime. The kid that won the game for TCU was a fucking fifth-year senior walk-on. His only game he ever played, and he won that fucking game.
That's awesome. That is so fucking awesome. But yeah, that's the vibes I get out of that game. Look, and Jordan Travis versus Adrian Martinez.
No, it's not Adrian Martinez. It's the other kid now. He's still a dog, though. He's still a dog. The kid's good.
Yeah, the kid's a dog. Would have been a great game. Deuce Vaughn versus Florida State's running back group. Dude, it was literally the same team playing.
It's two good defenses that have a nasty arsenal of running attack. It'd have been a great game.
Yeah. Moving on from that, our Rose Bowl matchup, which was Utah versus Penn State. Look, I think Utah is very disturbing. I don't think Penn State is. Who would I replace with Penn State? Let's put in another high offensive team, the University of Tennessee. Now, I get Hendon Hooker isn't there, but guess what? This is still an SEC program.
The potential that has potential to be the best game ever.
Yeah. When Rose Bowl environment, going to war. I think the Rose Bowl should always be the two most exciting teams from that year. And I think Tennessee was by far one of the most exciting teams, and Utah kind of did their thing to earn their spot in there. And Utah has kind of always been like they have their Pac-12 representative. Dude, this game would have been fucking amazing to watch.
It'd been electric.
Yeah, Hayden Hyatt versus that bullshit Utah secondary. The game would have been 80-80, like that. Like,
and I would have loved every second of it.
I would have loved every second of it. Our next game, Citrus Bowl, supposed to be LSU Purdue. I'm not even gonna say why this is a bad matchup. You know what it should have been? It should have been Clemson and USC. And why do I think that? I think both of these teams are overrated as fuck, and they would have played just to each other's level. It would have been USC, and hopefully Caleb Williams would have been healthy. It would have been a great showing out of them boys.
And they would have started, and Clemson would have started Cade Klubnik. Exactly,
and you would have gone to war. Like these guys would have had just the most insane game you've ever seen.
Yeah.
I would have had a great time watching that. Moving on, we have the Cotton Bowl, which was supposed to be the USC versus Tulane. Look, love UC. Love Tulane. Love what they did this year. I don't think their defense can really match up with that Lincoln Riley squad, unfortunately. So you know what I would have done? I would have put in Tulane versus Washington. Washington, another top 15 team in the country, played fantastic this year. Only gotten better as the season gone out. Let Tulane play a Power 5 conference in a team like Washington, who is a little bit closer to them. Because my biggest issue is you match up two teams that one team played great throughout the season, but the whole point of Tulane playing great throughout the season isn't to match up against someone that's going to blow them out or that's severely better than them. No, put them in a team, put them against a team that was in a Power 5 conference that did well, but didn't dominate their conference to see pretty much you get like this
realization.
Yeah, you get a realization, a different perspective of what Tulane would have done in that conference. You get to see how well Tulane would have performed if, per se, they were in the Pac-12. That's what you're kind of getting out of this. Lastly, one more game, our Orange Bowl, Clemson versus Tennessee. Not a bad matchup as
I don't like this game you put. I just noticed it. I like this.
Yeah. Since we're already going to put Purdue in there because they were Big Ten champions, why not put in the Sun Belt champion? Why not? Throw in Troy versus Purdue. We get to see our boy Marquise on the national stage.
Yes.
He gets to go out against this Purdue squad, which I think Troy has a great chance of winning this fucking football game.
I'm pretty sure Troy's bowl game they have right now is a good-ass game. Yeah, the Troy UTSA, it's the USA versus Sun Belt Conference Championship. 24 versus 25. That's a good-ass game.
Yeah, that's solid. Like I said, I'm always in favor of kind of the David versus Goliath, not like super disparity, but I just mean like non-Power 5 versus Power 5 conference. I think that's the point of bowl season. You get to see your non-televised teams versus not the cream of the crop, but like the strong opponents in those better conferences. I think this would have been a beautiful matchup. You know, Purdue's a solid, not great team. Troy played amazing this year. I think they deserved a chance to play a higher caliber team and kind of get to show out in that regard. That's kind of how I wanted to see bowl season go down. Obviously, politics play an aspect of in every sport. It's bullshit. But guess what? We are democracy. We are clocks on the stove. With that being said, Grayson, do you have anything to add before you lead us out?
I'm about to Amazon ship a shot. What's his son's name?
Shooter.
That's the way I say it.
Shooter Sanders, something
Shooter
like that.
Sanders, Colorado jersey. Yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna just get like prime, like Dion #1. Like just
That'd be tough.
Or just get it. Yeah, honestly, I might just get like a primetime Colorado jersey. Honestly, their color combo is hard as fuck.
No, their unis are, dude. Everything about them is good except their football play.
Yeah, facts. But yeah, great season of college football. Still have bowl season. We're not done yet.
But we'll have a whole pod. We'll have a whole episode dedicated to that.
Hell yeah.
Much to you. Clocks on the fucking stove.